Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to the channel. If you are new, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Marvel Snap content. I want to talk about Muse in a Fantomex deck and how it felt. I didn't really play it that much, but just from testing it initially, it felt okay. Unfortunately, I will say the meta isn't really favoring Fantomex right now. It's just too overwhelming. You have Man Spider in the meta. You have so many things that just go really big in this meta, and Fantomex just gets overwhelmed by the numbers of it. Even though that he has a way to suppress it, it's just too much for him. Even with the help of like Muse and like Wild Child being decently sized, it's just not enough. But we can talk about it. So the deck I threw together was Nico Minoru, mainly there for the potential of destroying something and then drawing two because you want to make sure you get to your Fantomex. Squirrel Girl because it's just free locations of like one procs on each one that if you just pull your Killmonger, well then you're good for setting up Muse. Black Cat's a free discard, or if you already have a Gambit in your hand, you can use this to just have something as a 1/4 as another location. She's solid. Like, it's a 1-drop. It's fine. Wild Child's here as a medium drop. Well, it's a 2-drop, but he's a 2/9, which is kind of nice. So he's safe from like Shang-Chi, but also giving a lot more power than normal 2-drops. Marrow is here because she helps suppress the power of our opponent and gives us the potential to get priority. Magik is here to delay turn if we need to really drag our feet and try to aim for that Fantomex play. This is exclusively like for like most times turn 5. You can play her on turn 3, just be aware that they could just counter her. But, you know, if you need the extra turn to, you know, potentially draw your Fantomex, Magik's a nice card to have. Gambit's here for a discard and potentially a priority target snipe for the opponent. If we're lucky, we'll hit something of value. Killmonger's here to set up our kills with the 1-drops. Makes it able to essentially, you know, maybe hurt the opponent and put us ahead with Muse, because Muse is a 3/12. It's kind of nice if you actually can play Squirrel Girl and Muse. Or Squirrel Girl and Killmonger to set up Muse. It's really nice. Muse is here as a 3/12, just a bigger number drop. He's solid. He's a good drop. He's just, you know, not really doing anything that the deck needs. He's just a solid drop if you need more power. There are other options, but, you know, it's easy to set up in this kind of meta. Venom's here to eat the Marrow, eat essentially anything that's already been used, just to get sizable. It is what it is. Usually eating Marrow is the best way to go with it, just so you can actually get the power and then detonate everything with her afflictions. Morgan Le Fay's to bring back anything that we might actually discard with our Gambit, accidentally destroy with our... Well, if we're going to destroy something of value, she can bring it back with 3 extra power. You know, it's Morgan Le Fay. She's there to make sure that we have a backup plan if we need one. And then we have Fantomex. The main point of the deck is to, you know, discard, destroy, then proc him, -2 the whole front row, which is really strong. It's just... sometimes it's just not enough. Especially like in this kind of meta where you're just getting big numbers anyway. It's just, sometimes it's just not enough. And because of it, he is struggling, unfortunately. He like, we need a card that is a ultra booster for this deck that's a good payoff for doing X and Z, which is discard and destroy. We just really, we don't have that. Like, our best power card is unironically a 2-drop in this style of deck, right? You could use Omega Sentinel and then like Prodigy and Jocasta and just overload the opponent with like big afflictions. But if they pull out a Luke Cage, you are cooked. You lose. One Luke Cage and that deck loses because you have no way to counter it, just like this deck. You have no way to counter a Luke Cage. So your copium is to just hope Wild Child and Muse are big enough to outbig your opponent if the afflictions don't go through, which in most cases is probably not enough because this deck really relies on the afflictions to apply and stick. So overall, I think Muse can find a home with Fantomex. I do. I think it's something that could work. I don't think it's necessary. I think there's other alternate routes that you could do to make it more beneficial for you as a Fantomex player. Muse is really cool, but I don't think he's necessarily his home. And he's a solid draw, but honestly, you'd want other things in your deck. I think a Lady Deathstrike is more important. That way you can actually have way to access and deny the Luke Cage to have the Fantomex and Marrow Afflictions stick. I also really like Silver Sable in this type of deck, the Steel Power. You could go Omega Sentinel, Prodigy, and the Jocasta setup as well. As long as you have a way to cancel out the Luke Cage, you could bring a Rogue and just say, okay, maybe I don't need a Prodigy. Maybe I just need a Jocasta, Omega Sentinel, and a Fantomex, and then I bring a Rogue just in case they play the Luke Cage. That way I can steal it. I just think it's more realistic for the deck to perform better overall in that type of scenario, where when you're trying to force just big numbers out and you have no way to counteract the thing that counters you, it can feel, or it can feel pretty bad and also fall short over, like, as a deck. I think having a tech card to counter the thing that counters your deck is what makes decks viable. And the only tech that we have really in this deck is Affliction and Gambit. Without any other like way to cancel out Luke Cage, you just kind of lose. So Muse, does he work in Fantomex? Sure, he can work. I don't think it's the best version of the deck. I think it kind of downgrades it. I really like Muse. Muse is really cool, but I do think he's better with Weapon X, where you're doing the thing that, you know, that makes those decks good, which are destroying your stuff, growing Weapon X. Muse is just a nice 3/12. Bam, you're cooking, right? In this deck, you just lack the utility to make it really work. But nonetheless, it can be fun. And I'll show you a gameplay of it versus High Evolutionary, and you can kind of see like the level of this deck. And it's the middle of the ground. It's like in the middle of the pack, maybe a little lower than the middle of the pack. It's not a bad deck. It's just there's definitely a better way to optimize Fantomex, in my opinion. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments below where you've been running Muse and what your thoughts on the current meta is. Like, I don't mind the current meta, but like Gambit, Horseman of War definitely needs to get nerfed. It's just a awkward meta because while there are a lot of things you can do, the meta is also very punishing if you don't have the right tech. So it's a little weird. But yep. Enjoy the games. Talk to you later. Peace.